Before we start building, let me show you where we are going. Right now, don't try to understand everything on the screen. You're not supposed to. In fact, if half of these names look unfamiliar, that's completely normal. Because today we are at the beginning of this journey. By the time we finish this series, every single component on this particular diagram will make complete sense. You will know why it's there, you'll know what problem it is trying to solve, you'll know how exactly it works, and you'll also know how to implement it by yourself. Have you ever watched a Kubernetes course, finished it successfully, and then realized you still didn't understand why companies use Kubernetes in the first place? You learn pods, you learn services, you also learn Helm, but nobody explained the bigger picture. Why does Kubernetes exist? Why do they need Argo CD? Why are there hundreds of projects in the CNCF landscape? More importantly, how do all these technologies fit together to build a real production grade platform? That's exactly what this series is about. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel Learn with DevOps Engineer. If you are new here, my name is Arbaz. I'm a senior DevOps engineer, and over the last several years, I worked on cloud, infrastructure, automation, CI CD, networking, security related stuff, production troubleshooting, and platform engineering. One thing I noticed is that most people learn cloud native technologies one tool at a time. For example, learning Docker tutorial, learning Kubernetes tutorial, then jumping into Prometheus, followed by they go to Grafana, and then finally Argo CD. At the end, they know many tools, but they don't understand the system. Production is about how those tools work together. That's what we are going to build in this series. You might have a question running in your mind how this is different. This is not another Kubernetes playlist. This is also not another certification course. And it's definitely not a collection of random CNCF projects. Think of this as one long engineering project. Over the next 1 year, we are going to build a complete production grade cloud native platform together. We are going to do one step at a time. Followed by, we are going to solve one production problem at a time. Every episode will add a new capability. By the end of this journey, you will not only know what these technologies actually do, you will understand exactly why they were created. Before we start building, let me show you where we are going. Right now, don't try to understand everything on the screen. You're not supposed to. In fact, if half of these names look unfamiliar, that's completely normal. Because today we are at the beginning of this journey. By the time we finish this series, every single component on this particular diagram will make complete sense. You will know why it's there, you'll know what problem it is trying to solve, you'll know how exactly it works, and you'll also know how to implement it by yourself. How exactly we are going to build it? We are not going to install tools because they are popular. Instead, we are going to let our platform guide us. We are going to start with a simple application. When our application will hit real production problem, we are going to stop. And then we are going to understand the problem. Then we will try to introduce the right tool. Not because I said, because the platform actually needs it. For example, we are going to start with Docker. Everything will work perfectly. Then our application grows. Now, Docker alone isn't enough. That's where Kubernetes enters the story. Later, applications need to communicate with each other. Now we need networking. Then deployments will become difficult. That's where GitOps come into picture. Production becomes harder to observe. We need monitoring. Security becomes more important. Now we are going to introduce security tools. Every technology in this series has a purpose. Nothing is going to be random. Before we continue, I also want to say something to companies watching this video. If you are building products in Kubernetes, CNCF, cloud, platform engineering, AI infrastructure, security, or observability ecosystem, and you are looking to reach engineers through hands-on educational content, I'd love to collaborate. My goal isn't just to mention products, it's to show engineers how these technologies solve real production problems. If that aligns with your mission, you'll find my email in the description. Let's build something that genuinely helps the engineering community. Now, let's look at the roadmap together. We have multiple different phases. In each phase, we are going to create 10 to 12 different episodes. So, for example, phase 1, we are going to build the foundation. We will understand why Kubernetes exists and create our first production ready cluster. In this phase 1, approximately 10 to 12 episodes based on the content I am going to record, followed by we are jumping to the phase 2, running our applications. We will learn how our applications run inside Kubernetes. For example, pods, deployment, scaling, all of that stuff. Phase 3 would be networking, services, ingress, gateway API related stuff. Followed by phase 4, GitOps delivery. Phase 5 would be observability. Phase 6 would be security. Then phase 7 is stateful workloads. For example, we are going to look into storage, databases, backups. Phase 8 would be platform engineering, developer platform like self-service internal development platform we are going to do. Followed by phase 9, AI on Kubernetes. LLMs, GPUs, AI infrastructure. Phase 10, production operations like scaling, upgrades, disaster recovery. Phase 11 would be multi-cluster and cloud, hybrid cloud, fleet management. Finally, after all the phases, we are going to have one production platform. Now that we know where we are going, we need to answer one important question. Why did the industry build Kubernetes in the first place? If Docker works perfectly, why wasn't Docker enough? That's exactly what we are going to answer in the next episode. If you are excited about this journey, subscribe to the channel and let me know in the comments where you are watching from and what you are hoping to build by the end of this series. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.